It's currently moving behind the scenes from Warner Bros. And especially from DC Studios. Now, it's undeniable. There are a lot of signs that show that it's the case and some very important rumors that we're going to see in this video. Hi DC fans, let me welcome you in this little video dedicated to two very important rumors that we just had on the future of DC Studios, especially on the movie Supergirl and on the next Batman project in the DCU. Hi everyone, and welcome to Crazy Geek for a new video. Prepare your coffee, sit down comfortably. I am Sam and you are on Crazy Geek. Supergirl is the next DC Studios movie. It's a movie that is scheduled to be released in a few months, scheduled to be released in June 2026, by the way. Little aside, but a trailer shouldn't take too long to arrive. Probably in November, that's when the trailers for the movies coming out in June are released. The movie will put Millie Halcock in the role of Kara Zor-El. She was introduced in the Superman movie released this summer, and this movie will be an adaptation of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow, in which Supergirl goes to a planet with a red sun to celebrate her birthday, to get drunk, and meets a young girl, Ruddy. This comic is above all an introspection of the character of Supergirl, which in my opinion will lead to a hell of an evolution of the character, before seeing her again, obviously in the long run, in the DCU. The movie will be marked in particular by the presence of the villain Krem, Krypto's return, and also the introduction of Lobo's character, who will be played by Jason Momoa. Yes, our Jason Momoa, who played Aquaman in the DCU, who this time will play the Biker of the Stars. The movie would be reshooted for about 2 weeks, according to Daniel RPK The Goal, add scenes with Superman. And it's totally coherent, since we could see that Superman's costume is no longer exposed at Warner Bros. The reason is simple, it is currently used by the production. It's quite strange to say that, well, obviously they only have one Superman costume, the budget cuts, but they will add scenes from David Corn's Wish as Superman. We had rumors a few months ago who told us that we would have a flashback scene where we would see Supergirl arrive in her capsule on Earth and who would be welcomed by the Kryptonian, and that it was supposed to be, at the base, the only scene of Superman in the movie. Nevertheless, things will change. We will add new scenes with Superman. But why? Well, when you think about it, there are two possible reasons for this. The first one would be to make the audience come more, by showing that we are indeed on the sequel of the DCU, that Superman's character is already coming back, and it can motivate some people to come. Let's remember that the movie, although it did not make exceptional scores internationally, did very well on the American soil, and putting Superman's character, for example, in the trailer, could bring some additional people to the theater. But very honestly, does the Superman of David Corn's Wish already have such an aura that it could bring a lot of people to the theater? I'm not sure. Let's take the case of Henry Cavill in Black Adam. I don't think it's Henry Cavill who inflated the tickets a lot, and yet everyone suspected he was in the movie. And there, David Corn's Wish, in my opinion, yes, will maybe increase the tickets a bit, but overall, I don't think that's why they add him in the movie. I think it's about showing that David Corn's Wish is one of the new faces of DC, and that he will be present really many times, and especially that this movie will allow to build the bridge by teasing the movie Man of Tomorrow, planned for 2027. The goal is clear, Supergirl must work at the box office, and if it works at the box office and that it contains an important teasing for Man of Tomorrow the following year, well, it can be great for James Gunn. It can allow to raise the hype for the movie that will be released, a movie that will have a lot of stakes for him, since it's probably the movie that will allow him to save his place or to say goodbye definitively to DC Studios. And in my opinion, this is the main reason why they add scenes of Superman and Supergirl. The goal? Tease Man of Tomorrow and show that David Corn's Wish is one of the new faces of DC. Since I love the character, I won't complain. It's clearly a very good thing. It's a very good move to bring back regularly this character of Superman. Already, we expected a lot to see him in Peacemaker Season 2. It wasn't the case, bring him back in. Supergirl is a very good idea in my opinion. And beware, I already see some complaining, but suddenly he will have the same costume as in Superman. Yes, he will have exactly the same costume, since it's the one currently used by the production. Something interesting would be to make sure that this costume is damaged during the movie, or even destroyed. And that would justify more that there is a brand new costume in Man of Tomorrow. But James Gunn had already hinted that this would be the case. Expect a new costume for Superman in Man of Tomorrow. A costume that, we hope, will allow to put almost everyone in agreement, and that will be able to convince the audience more, because for many, Superman's costume was one of the biggest flaws of the movie. And are you happy to see David Corn's Superman again in the Supergirl movie? And to know that there will be additional scenes? Well, tell me in the comments. While I thought some time ago that the end of the year would be quite quiet on DC's side, there is nothing left. I think we should expect a major announcement in the weeks, months to come. The reason? Andy Muschietti let us understand that we were going to have important information about the Batman movie in the DCU in the next 2 to 3 months. He used the expression a couple months. And I have already shared with you that, in my opinion, the best way for James Gunn to save himself is to bring back Batman very quickly in the DCU. And so to announce the actor, to announce that he will be present in the movie Man of Tomorrow, and to also announce the new project, Batman, the new live-action movie, with a release date, the actor, and above all, a title and a pitch. Forget the brave and the bold. That's what seems to be the case. We have already learned, according to James Gunn, that the movie announced in 2023, The Brave and the Bold, which was to follow Batman and his son Damian Wayne as Robin, had undergone major changes. Well, this time, it's the Scooper Fortress of DC that gets in the way, since according to him, the movie would no longer be an adaptation of Grant Morrison's run, but would take some elements from the comic Tales of the Demon, which is the first confrontation of Batman with Ra's al Ghul, and above all, the moment when Batman learns that Talia al Ghul is Ra's daughter. And no, there is no Damian Wayne in this story, since we arrive at a moment in Bruce Wayne's life where he is much younger, and where his Robin is Dick Grayson, the first Robin. And this change of story would be a very good thing. It would be much more consistent with the DCU's overall plan. We have a Superman in year 3, so it would be quite logical to have Batman as his first Robin. This will truly allow to explore more the Bat family, with the first Robin Dick Grayson, who will become Nightwing, Jason Todd and his death, his resurrection in Red Hood, Tim Drake, and after, much later, the arrival of Damian Wayne. And we often talk about Robins, but we also forget the Batgirls, with of course Barbara Gordon or Cassandra Cain. I would be clearly very favorable to what we start again from the beginning, that is to say with Dick Grayson, and that we go forward without missing a crumb. And this rumor of Fortress of DC could have already been teased by James Gunn. Indeed, it was the birthday of the character of Clayface, and he took the opportunity to put a comic book cover where we see Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson, face the character of Clayface. And if it was just a little teasing, that would already announce the color, that would already announce that the Robin finally of the DCU will be Dick Grayson and not Damian Wayne. And maybe in this Batman movie of the DCU, we would see Tom Reseris, who would resume his role of Clayface, with the opportunity to see a clash between Batman, Clayface, and Robin Dick Grayson. It would be just great. Just to say it, it already gives me shivers. I think this end of the year may be quite impressive regarding the DCU. And if it comes true, these are very good changes. In my opinion, James Gunn may resume a little bit of the hair of the beast, and it would be an announcement that would do good to his DC studio. And there, well, we can clearly consider the possibility of having a small appearance of Batman in the movie Clayface. I don't know what you think of all this. Tell me in the comments, and we'll see you very soon in Gotham City.